Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back into another edition of Keytime Sports. It's Key Time coming back to talk about week 11 of the college football season. Please like, comment, share, subscribe. Keytime Sports right here on YouTube, Key City Sports on Instagram, and the keyonmillions.co. We have a two-game slate this week. Number 8 BYU versus number 9 Texas Tech, and number 3 Texas A&M versus number 19 Missouri. First, I'm going to start off with the BYU Cougars and the Texas Tech Red Raiders. Now, this is a game where it could have playoff implications in this game. First off, B. Brashimir, 126 of 201, 1,693 yards, 62.7 completion percentage, 84, 8.4 yards per pass, touchdowns, 11 touchdowns to 3 interceptions. Rushing, here is the rushing attack for the BYU Cougars. Here is the Cougars receiving attack. Here's the Cougars kicking. Here is the Cougars defensive lineup. And as a defensive unit, tackles as a defensive unit, 479 solo tackles as a defensive unit. So now we know what the defense for the BYU Cougars can do. Excuse me. Now let's see what the offense can do. BYU's offense scores 35.8 points per game. Third down efficiency, 41%. Fourth down efficiency is 70%. Now we shift over to the Texas Tech Raiders, led by Brayshaw Morton, 125 of 125 of 184, 1,759 yards, 15 touchdowns, and 4 interceptions. Here is the rushing attack for the Texas Tech Red Raiders. Here is the receiving core for the Texas Tech Raiders. Here's the kicking for the Texas Tech Raiders. Here's the defense for the Texas Tech Raiders. Solo tackles, 569 solo tackles as a defensive unit. Offensively, Texas Tech averages 43.6 points per game. Third down efficiency, 49%. Fourth down efficiency, 50%. And here are some key storylines for this game. Top 25 Big 12 matchup features. Texas Tech hosting BYU. Number 10 BYU 8-0 at number 13 Texas Tech 8-1 November 8th at 12 p.m. How to watch ABC. Key statistics. Texas Tech offense overall 492.3 yards per game, 5th in FBS, passing 294.4 yards per game, 14th, rushing 197.9 yards per game, 24th in college football, scoring 43.6 points per game, 3rd in college football. Texas Tech defense overall 271.4 yards per game, 10th in FBS. Passing 196 yards, point 0.9 yards per game, 37th. Rushing 74.6 yards per game, first. Scoring 13.2 per game, fifth in college football. BYU's offense overall 133.4 yards per game, 34th in FBS. Passing 216.8 yards per game, 85th. Rushing 216 yards per game, 0.6 yards per game, 15th. Scoring 36.3 yards per game, 19th. BYU defense overall 318.3 yards per game, 27th in FBS. Passing 188.9 yards per game, 28th. Rushing 129.4 yards per game, 43rd in college football. Scoring 17 points per game, 16th. Both teams will perform well defensively. Both teams perform well defensively. Texas Tech is 18th in FBS, allowing to convert 31.9 points per game of the time. BYU ranks 16th, allowing a 31.7 third down conversion rate. Both teams have strong turnover margins. Texas Tech ranks 10th in FBS at +8, and BYU ranks 5th at 10 +10. BYU 20th in FBS red zone trip scoring on 91.9% of their trips. Texas 88 in first in the FBS with an average time of possession of 29.13 seconds. 29 minutes, 13 seconds compared to 20th ranked average, BYU's 20th ranked average of 32 minutes, 11 seconds. Team leaders. Texas Tech, Baron Morton, 1,750 yards, 15 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, 67.9 completion percentage. Rushing, Cameron Dickey, 748 yards on 34 carries, 10 TDs receiving Caleb Douglas, 539 on 42 catches, yards on 42 catches, 4 TDs. BYU passing Bear Batchmere, 1,693 yards, 11 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, 62.7% completion percentage. Rushing LJ Martin, 789 yards on 132 carries, 5 TDs. Receiving Chase Roberts, 591 on 32 carries, 4 TDs. Last game, Texas Tech won 43-20 over Kansas on Saturday, November 1st. You all can read the rest. BYU beats Iowa 41-27 on October 25th. Batchmere threw 307 yards on 22 of 35. You all can read the rest. I'm going to give y'all 5 seconds to read both slides right here. And then I'm going to give y'all my prediction on this game. Predictions on this game. As of right now, Texas Tech Raiders are 11.5 point favorite. It started off at 10. And I do think that the Texas Tech Raiders will win this game, and BYU will have its first loss of the season. The next game and the final game that I'm going to cover, it's only a two game slate this week, is Texas A&M Aggies versus Missouri. Marcel Reed, 137 of 23, 223, 1,972 yards, 17 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. Here's the rushing attack for the Texas A&M Aggies. Here's the receiving for the Texas A&M Aggies. Here's the kicking for the Texas A&M Aggies. Defense for the Texas A&M Aggies, and as far as solo tackles, 481 yards. For Missouri, Bo Pribula, 158 of 227, 1,685 yards, 11 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. Here's the rushing attack for the Missouri Tigers. Here's the receiving core for the Missouri Tigers. Kicking for the Missouri Tigers. Defense for the Missouri Tigers. Solo tackles for the Missouri Tigers. 441 solo tackles as a defense for the Missouri Tigers. Total points per game, 35.4. Third down efficiency, 50%. Fourth down efficiency, 80%. One of the best in college football. Here are some storylines for this game. And then after those storylines, I'm going to get into recent. Oh, come on, guys. Come on, get it back for me. Ah, damn it. Stand by for a minute. Yeah, guys, we can edit this out. In either way, we can edit this out. So Texas A&M and the Missouri Tigers. Missouri coach Eli Drinkwitz addressed his team earlier this week as the number 19th Tigers were turning their attention toward a visit from number 3 Texas A&M. The message was one of optimism and hope at the time in which it could be easy to be frustrated and disappointed. If you would have told us when we started fall camp, Drinkowitz said, relaying this message to the team that would be ranked coming out of a second bye week, we would have said, with an opportunity for everything we want in front of us, and we got to play a top 10 team at home, would everybody have signed up for it? We all would have said yes. 6-2 Tigers, Number 22 in the CFP indeed have plenty to play for the rest of the way through margin. Slim air is slim, making conference title game and the college football playoff, but it all starts with beating the Aggies. The Aggies are 8-0, number 3, something that nobody else has managed to do, and something Missouri hasn't done since the 2014 season. You know there's really nothing to fear, Drinkowitz said. Texas A&M is well aware of its opportunity. Situation leaves the Aggies coach Mike Elko feeling desperate. Really? I mean, he has a top dog, and Texas A&M is one of the top dogs in college football right now. Yeah, I think we are desperate. I tell them all the time we have earned everything we've got, right? We've got a record, we've got a ranking, we've got opportunities that we've worked on really hard and earned them, Elko said. And every single Saturday someone someone's coming in and trying to take it all away from us. That's the urgency that we have in terms of Missouri. This is a challenge that you have in college football today. They're still very much alive in the playoff, barely, but alive. They obviously have they're going to win in order to probably get in, Elko said. So this is a huge opportunity for them on a big stage to make a statement. They are going to chase a playoff spot. Making history, Matthew Zollers finished out the Tigers' loss to Vanderbilt a couple weeks ago with Prebula got hurt. Now he will become the first true freshman to start a game at quarterback for Missouri since Drew Lock started the final 8 of the 2015 season. It's about playing to our strengths, Drinkowitz said. Are there things that we need to add? Probably not, but there are things that he's more comfortable with than maybe Bo is actually. Seriously speaking, Missouri won its first 2 against Texas A&M as SEC foes while the Aggies have won the last 2. But given the 2 teams also used to be in the Big 12 together, this series has been seldom played. Texas A&M has a 10-7 advantage overall. Raising the bar, Texas A&M offensive line wasn't expected to be a strength this season, but it has looked better every week. The unit hasn't allowed a sack in 3 straight games. You've seen them go out and play really well. Now they have a massive challenge in front of them. Elko said this is the best defensive line that we've seen. They're an extremely talented group. Filling in, Elko said it isn't sure when star running back Le'Veon Moss will return from an ankle injury that has kept him out the last 2 games, but the staff still does not think he's done for the year. Reuben Owens II has been the team's primary ball carrier since Moss was injured and leads the team with 440 rushing yards. We are hopeful that by the end of the regular season, we have a chance to get back out there, Elko said. Certainly, we feel very confident for anything beyond the end of the regular season. It presents itself. So, point spread for this game opened up at 4.5 for the Texas A&M Aggies. Now it's 6.5. I got Texas A&M winning this game no matter what. Now, one thing I can say, this comes with a heavy heart because the person that you see on your screen, we were going to have him on the show, Marshawn Nealon. Yeah. Yeah, I got in touch with Marshawn Nealon, I would say 3 weeks ago, and he had been. I wanted to get him on the show because he was one of the newest Dallas Cowboys. Nobody had really ever heard of his story, and I saw him Monday night. Get a first career, get his first career touchdown, and then yesterday to find out that he passed, and it was by suicide. That's really struck me to a core. It really has because I mean, like the last few months, I'm pretty sure if you haven't seen the previous interviews that I've had with sports players and sports figures, go on my YouTube, Instagram, wherever, go on my TikTok. It's on all platforms, but this one right here really, really does hit me to a core. I was even talking to my promotion team this morning, and what I was saying to them is before I started covering sports players and sports teams on a regular, like when it would come to sure players they pass and stuff, but me being in contact with a player and potentially bringing him on the show, and then all of a sudden he passed just a few days ago. That that is just uh, one thing I can say about this. Anybody that's out there, whoever needs help, get the help that you need. Really get the help that you need because, like I said, Marshawn, no, Marshawn Nealon, he should have been here. He should have been, yeah, he should have been. Marshawn Nealon, he was a good player. For people who don't know him, he was at Western Michigan, had a good season, had a good 4 years at Western Michigan. But yeah, he was like the perfect, and I do mean the perfect. He had the perfect build of health. He did. He had the perfect bill of health. I was talking to him. He was saying, yeah. He was like, man, I'm gonna come on your show, and then to hear that he passed, I actually thought that this news was not, this news wasn't like fake or anything. Like, well, this news was fake, but me as a Dallas Cowboy fan, I'm reeling right now. I really am, and not just from a fan perspective, but from a show perspective because I was looking forward to having him on the show. I know everybody in football is reeling right now. I know man, I just don't know what to say. Perfect bill of health. On the outside, he was a perfect bill of health. But on the inside, we don't know whether it was just we don't know what his thoughts were, what atomic bomb. If we, like I said, in this field in sports, we don't know what the person's inner thoughts are. We just don't know. Just don't know what the person's inner thoughts are. And as far as appearances in a space like this, and then appearances in a space like this, you always have to keep it vibrant, and you as far as when it comes to reporting on players, you possibly could see a player that that goes off the rails, but you don't want to get into their personal business. But we don't know what he was thinking. We really don't. And like I say, everybody said that the death was caused by suicide. We don't know what his inner thoughts were. That's why I say it is very, very important to to speak to somebody. Speak to somebody. It doesn't always have to be, a psychologist or a therapist, but just to speak to somebody and talk to somebody. Like I said, he is another player in a group of many, many young players, whether it's college football, college baseball, college basketball, college sports, professional sports, period, that has unexpectedly perished on 24, 24 years old. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm 24. I'm about to be 25 in a matter of 90 days. Mental health is very important. No matter what situation you're in, there is always a light at the end of the tunnel. See, forget about sports for a minute, and I'm gonna just talk to y'all real life. Real life. I'm gonna just say this. I noticed that some of my viewers, like I said, some of my viewers, they noticed that in the past year, I'm more I would say I'm more vibrant, and I can say that I am more vibrant now than I was at this point last year, because like I said, not even last year, but early this year, it was a trying time for me, and it was a trying time for both of our shows. But like I said, anybody else, and I do mean anybody else in my current situation where they have good sports commentary, good takes, and not having nobody, not, well, trying to get in touch with somebody to sponsor my show, whether it's an employer or a production service, it was tough. I'm gonna say between January and I'm gonna say July, it was tough. It really was. Now, from what the story states, before Marshawn Nealon, before Marshawn Nealon committed suicide, he sent a goodbye text to one of his close friends. Like I said, we gotta keep each other, we gotta keep each other lifted, even though sometimes we may feel like that we stepping on each other's toes. But hey, you make it a point, to reach out to anybody that's in your close circle, whether it's business partners, family, friends, cousins, aunties, uncles, long distance loved ones, no matter what. Because, like I say, I know his mother is reeling. Also, reportedly, the other player, the other college football player that, well, that abruptly died earlier this year, Kyron Lacey's Bob. This hit home for her. Like I said, the resources I have, I'm basically talking with these players. I have a direct contact with these players. So, yeah, this basically really struck me to the core. It did. It did. I'm really at a loss for words. I really am, cause yeah, cause 24 mental health is very important. Mental health is very important. Man, mom, the whole family is going through it. Everybody in sports is going through it. Me, when I heard the news yesterday, I was a little bit down by it. Still a little bit down by it. My business partners, they a little bit down by it. I don't know. I don't know I don't know where else to go and what else to say. But America, world, anybody that need help with something, whether you feel like you not doing the right thing or you need resources, get in touch with somebody. Get in touch with somebody because life is too precious. Life is too precious, and we don't have a whole lot of time to waste on this earth. Everybody, and I do mean everybody, has been put on this earth to live out their dream. Now, whatever that dream is, you got to go and find it. But the Most High put you on this earth for a reason. He does. He has your whole life planned out. You don't know what your whole life plan is. Only thing that you do is go through the motions. That's all. That is all. So, ladies and gentlemen, Marshawn Nealon, defensive edge rusher for the Dallas Cowboys, passes away yesterday, 24 years old. There will be a moment of silence for Marshawn Nealon at every NFL game. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if that's totally confirmed, but it needs to be. It really needs to be because, like I said, too many, too many people in my age bracket are starting to leave, and this this is where as far as this is where faith comes in at keeping your spirits up, keeping yourself going even when times get tough. I mean, hey man, he was gonna come on the show. He was going to come, and I mean he would guarantee he was a guaranteed guest on the show. Gone too soon. Gone too soon. And with that, those are my predictions for college football week 11. BYU versus Texas Tech. Texas A&M Aggies versus Texas A&M Aggies versus Missouri Tigers. Everybody that's watching in my audience and wherever you may be looking at, whether you are here in the States or abroad, get the help that you need because your life is too precious. Life is too precious. The days that we have on this earth are too precious. And there are so many resources that can help you out. So let's not. I'm gonna say this. Today is November 7th. We done had a lot of people this year in the sports world die under the age of, well, excuse me, pass under the age of 30. We got to uplift ourselves. We got to uplift ourselves, and we got to have the mental fortitude to be able to turn to somebody and say, hey, I need some help here. I need some help there. Can you help me out? Who can I go to? So, all in all, this was a very, very a very, very heartfelt show. This was basically this show was basically about more about Marshawn Kneeland than any college football game because this is bigger than college football. This is somebody's life we talking about. Really is somebody's life and a person that I was looking forward to having on my show. Please like, comment, share, subscribe. Keytime Sports right here on YouTube, Key City Sports on Instagram, and the keyonmillions.co. And remember, everybody, please get the help that you need. And remember, the key is always on time.